Hi, and welcome to our presentation on Columbina SA, Entering the Ice Cream Market. This is brought to you by Case Study Group number 6. Before we can talk about analyzing the ice cream market, I want to give you a brief introduction on what contemporary business is like in Colombia. Colombia has the largest U.S. market for export agricultural products, which totaled over $2.5 billion in 2017. That represents a 67% growth rate since 2013. Euromonitor, a marketing research company, describes how the Colombian economy rate of growth is expected to increase throughout 2018 and onward. GDP is expected to grow by 2.8% in 2018 after gains of 1.6% in 2017. Economic growth in the country means that millions of Colombians have made the jump from living in poverty into low and middle income classes. The unemployment rate went from 9.3% in 2017 to 8.9% in 2018. The income changes have resulted in a change of eating patterns as well, which has caused a demand increase of consumer-ready products like fast food chain restaurants. The economic growth rate has made it possible for the Colombian government to create 2.4 million new jobs. A lot of those jobs being from the recent transition into the growing retail field. For example, large Western-style supermarkets are a hit in Colombia. Discount markets are also starting to gain momentum as well. Colombia currently has a fast-growing market for quality food products, leaving potential growth for new products in all food categories. For example, Colombina ice cream. Colombia for a long time was considered a very violent place to live. They had to fight strongly against illegal drugs, and overall community members did not feel safe. Also, there was no trust in income equality. But Colombia post-2000s has turned over a new leaf. They've done things like provide better transportation services, businesses such as banks and institutions are now performing well, and they have created more jobs and are working towards building their trust back within their community.
The Colombian ice cream market has grown over the last 5 years both in volume and in sales. In 2012, the market was valued at $354 million and had increased to $476 million by 2016. Forecasted market growth remains optimistic with anticipated growth through 2021. Overall, ice cream consumption in Colombia is still relatively low when compared to countries such as the United States and Chile. Local competitors control the market, and as a result, major companies like Nestle and Haagen-Dazs have struggled within the market. When looking at the marketing mix for ice cream in Colombia, in order for a product to be successful in the market, it must be viewed as a high-quality product. Consumers also like to have a number of flavors to choose from, as flavor is often a determinant of preference. Additionally, the product needs to be offered in individual packaging, as freezer space is often limited in Colombian households. 60% of ice cream purchases take place at small local stores, which often offer individually packaged products such as popsicles and ice cream cups and cookies. 30% of purchases take place at ice cream parlors, which buy their ice cream in bulk, and 10% of purchases are made in supermarkets, which sell individually packaged products along with larger ice cream containers and frozen desserts. Colombian consumers are price sensitive given the low income conditions of most of the population. Like many other countries, consumption of ice cream increases with income level. Since the market is dominated by a select number of major players, an established price point has been standardized. The Colombian ice cream market is non-seasonal, and therefore sales do not peak in the summertime like in many other markets. Ice cream purchases are typically made on impulse, therefore it is important to target the consumer within the store.
Operational capabilities and resources. In order for a company to compete in Colombia's ice cream industry, it would need a diversified product offering, adaptive packaging, and efficient cold chain process flows. The ice cream industry is ever changing to keep up with the different consumer tastes and buying habits. Competing companies must be prepared to change their standard product offerings to include the latest trend, which leads to diversified product offering. For instance, as healthier eating habits are being adapted more and more every day, the demand for those products has also increased. If a company wants to be able to compete, then it must be able to adapt to those changes by incorporating some healthier options, such as all naturally made fruit ice cream or ice cream with lower sugar. Consumers also want to be able to purchase these different options in various ways. If there are flavors offered as single serve cones, then they should probably be available in ice cream cups, bars, and popsicles as well. Therefore, the way the ice cream is manufactured has to also be diverse and be able to change depending on market demand. By offering different flavors in various sizes, companies are able to compete with larger corporations. Ice cream packaging, which is also a big deal in Colombia. By offering more than one size container, companies have a better chance of appealing to individual customer needs. This includes ice cream in different size liters, buckets for larger quantities, and small frozen desserts for impulse purchases or homes with limited freezer space. An efficient cold chain process is probably one of the most important operational concerns for ice cream companies, especially in Colombia. After the ice cream is produced, it must always be contained at low controlled temperatures, regardless of where it's being stored or how it's being shipped. Huge investment is needed to consider the special logistics that goes into maintaining an efficient cold chain process from the time the product leaves the processing plant until it reaches the customer. This includes special shipping containers, trucks, and direct hire delivery teams. Once the ice cream reaches the store, however, company must also ensure that retailers will take care of the products in compliance with temperature needs. Therefore, many companies choose to supply high-value retailers with specially made and branded freezers to store their ice cream properly.
Hi, my name is Adam Totolo, and I will now dive into the SWOT analysis part of our case study. The Colombina Ice Cream Division has a really strong umbrella company to support them. Colombina had a 50% market share within the confectionery market before they branched off into the broader food industry. A 50% market share means that consumers are familiar with the brand. It also means that there's plenty of brand knowledge within the umbrella company to tap into. It was mentioned within the case study that local companies have control over the market and push large multinational companies like Unilever and Nestle out. For now, this is a strength, but I believe this factor could return as a threat because companies such as these have almost unlimited capital to play with. I believe integrating the Colombina 100% product line is key. Around the world, people are becoming more and more health conscious. Healthy eating is the present and the future. It is beneficial for Colombina to further enhance and build on this product line. The freezer service Colombina employs is a great marketing tool. Small local businesses that do not have the infrastructure to sell ice cream can acquire a Colombina freezer as long as they maintain a minimum price level. Local companies have been selling homemade ice cream made from local fresh fruit. Many consumers and tourists prefer this type of ice cream. Colombina can afford to include local fruits in their healthy product line, but they cannot universally do so. It would hurt their bottom line. Like I said before, if they do not continue to grow their healthy product line, it will come back to haunt them in the future. Due to low economic level in many parts of Colombia, ice cream is purely an impulse buy. This means that most consumers are not going to the store and routinely buying ice cream. Another weakness is that Colombina does not have enough capital for a significant advertising campaign. Large companies like Nestle could re enter the market and invest a large amount of capital into advertising, while Colombina will not be able to compete. Ice cream is often a point of sale purchase. For example, if a consumer is at a beach on a hot day, they will crave ice cream. It is difficult to have ice cream available for sale in those situations. The Colombina 100% product line should continue to be a focal point in the Colombina brand. Even if consumers are not buying that product line, other product lines that are not as healthy will be associated with it. Colombina should look into delving into other Latin countries with similar cultural landscapes. The markets will be similar, so additional market research will be minimal. The ice cream division of Colombina will benefit from the umbrella company's venture into broader food industry. Once the Colombina name is associated with other food products, people will associate, for instance, Colombina bread with Colombina ice cream. Brand loyalty will be established. Colombina needs to get into more large supermarkets. I like to think of a supermarket as one big advertising experience. Even if a consumer is not buying your product at a certain time, they are exposed to it and it enters their mind for the next time. The locally sourced companies remain a threat. As a tourist visiting Colombia, I would want to indulge in a local ice cream that employs local fruits and flavors, not generic ice cream I could get in the United States. Multinational companies like Nestle or Unilever have the capital for significant advertising campaigns that could hurt Colombina. The low economic level of the country means that consumers are not buying ice cream because they need to purchase more practical food items. This may improve, but for now, it's a threat.